Look closely at the face on your screen. It has a wide, permanent smile, feathery pink branches sprouting from its head, and tiny button eyes that seem to stare into a different dimension. This animal looks like a cartoon character brought to life, or perhaps a Pokemon that somehow found its way into our reality. But be assured, it is 100% real. And while its appearance is charming, what lies beneath that skin is a biological superpower that still confuses the brightest scientific minds on Earth. Meet the axolotl, known scientifically as Ambystoma mexicanum. To understand why this creature is so strange, we have to talk about growing up. Most amphibians, like frogs or salamanders, begin their lives in the water. They start as larvae, breathing through gills. But the axolotl refuses. It is an evolutionary anomaly. It reaches sexual maturity without ever undergoing metamorphosis. Those feathery, coral-like branches on its head, those are external gills. They are supposed to disappear, but in the axolotl, they remain for life, fluttering in the current to pull oxygen from the water. But where does an animal like this come from? You might expect to find them in a pristine alien ocean or a deep jungle river, but axolotls are found naturally in just one place on the entire planet: the murky remnant canals of Lake Xochimilco on the southern edge of Mexico City. Centuries ago, this was a vast, high-altitude lake system revered by the Aztecs. In fact, the name axolotl comes from the Aztec god Xolotl, the god of fire and lightning, who disguised himself as a salamander to avoid being sacrificed. Evolution here took a strange turn. The lake is stable, but high altitude means the water is cold and low in oxygen. Moving to land would have been dangerous and dry. So, the axolotl adapted to stay in the water, developing a complex way to breathe through those magnificent gills and even directly through its skin. However, staying young isn't the axolotl's greatest trick. Here is where biology, as we know it, begins to break. If you lose a limb, it's gone forever. If a lizard loses its tail, it might grow back a crude cartilage replacement. But the axolotl possesses the highest regenerative ability of any vertebrate on Earth. If an axolotl loses a limb, it doesn't just heal over. It regrows the limb perfectly: bone, muscle, nerve, skin. Within a few weeks, you can't tell which leg was lost and which is original. There is no scarring. And it doesn't stop at limbs. Scientists have observed axolotls regenerating lung tissue, spinal cords, and even parts of their own heart and brain. They can accept organ transplants from other axolotls without rejection, incorporating the new biology seamlessly into their own. It's as if they possess a biological undo button. Researchers are currently mapping the axolotl genome, which is 10 times larger than the human genome, hoping to unlock this secret. Imagine a future where humans could repair a damaged heart or regrow a severed spinal cord using the blueprint hidden inside this smiling amphibian. It's a strange irony. In the wild, the axolotl is critically endangered, fighting pollution and invasive species in its tiny home in Mexico. Yet in laboratories and aquariums around the world, it's thriving, holding the keys to the future of regenerative medicine. An animal that never grows up, an animal that can rebuild itself from almost any injury, and an animal that, by all logic, shouldn't exist, but we are so lucky that it does. But if you think the axolotl defies explanation, wait until you see the next creature on this channel, because what comes next is even harder to believe.